From the folks that brought you Bran Calonia, the spaghetti fantasy RPG, comes another project. This time it's going to take you to the depths of the underworld. Stick around. We're going to talk about Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell. Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell, the upcoming project from Acheron. And joining us will be Max Castellani from Epic Party. Before we begin, I will say that if you are interested in anything that we talk about, please check out the Kickstarter link in the description below. Also, if you're excited about this project, please hit that like button down below and let me know in the comments if you're excited as well. So without further ado, let's bring on Max Castellani from Epic Party to talk about Inferno.
Here I am.
Max, thanks so much for joining us again.
No, thank you.
It's becoming quite the habit here on VCG,
Yeah.
which I am very pleased about.
I am too, very much.
We've got a very exciting project coming to Kickstarter very, very soon. It looks amazing. I can't wait to talk about it. Before we begin, if folks are just tuning in for the first time and haven't encountered your previous pieces on this show, do you want to do a little introduction, let folks know who you are?
Yes, I am Max Castellani, and one of my jobs, one of those jobs that I would like to have as a real job one day. Right now is a sort of a side project, but it's working pretty good. So maybe one day soon. It's having a small independent game studio called Epic Party, with which we have made a couple of Kickstarter campaigns for two independent games in the past. And we more recently have met with Acheron Books, that now has an Acheron Games section, to work on Brancalonia. And with them also, one of those previous games that we made, which is First King, that you might probably remember, it's passed under the Acheron Books publishing, so it's going to be produced by them right now. We are still in charge of the game design and rule development of the game, but they're going to publish it and send it to the backers that are still waiting for it. And then last year we started this collaboration with them for Brancalonia, and Brancalonia was a huge success. We also had an actual play of the game. We
did. It was a lot of fun
here. Yes, and it was a very good Kickstarter campaign, and it made possible for Acheron to actually start up a games section. This was their project. Now, to have a huge project that could give them the budget to start a real game company. Beside the narrative, they make books basically.
Right.
They have made books since 2020, and then they just tried in the game industry, and they tried to make it. And so we are once again working with them with this Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell, which is still again a product that will be compatible with the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's going to be based on the open game license, the system reference document from Wizard of the Coast. But it's going to be pretty different from Brancalonia. It's going to be totally
just a little bit
different. Yes, totally different game. There's another party, a third party in the whole game project, which is Two Little Mice. That's the name of the company. There are two guys that had the actual first idea and concept of the game. So they've been working on it since since a couple of years, but they couldn't find the right company to work with for the rule development and then publishing and Kickstarter campaign management, etc. So we are now working. It's Two Little Mice, Epic Party Games, and Acheron Books. we are this three-headed monster like Cerberus maybe,
Nice.
and
Okay.
and we are working on this project all together. Me and Andrea from Epic Party, we are taking care of the rule development and adaptation of the fifth edition of Dungeons and Dragons for the game. And the
Right.
game is basically going to put your characters inside of the Dante Alighieri's hell, so the Inferno that Dante talks about and describes into the Divine Comedy, the great poem, a great ancient poem from Dante. There is a huge and pretty famous video game that kinda tried the same thing.
Yep. Yep.
The vibe could be similar because it's D&D, so you are going to have combats and you are going to have adventures. You're going to have these heroes trying to battle with some giant and colossal monsters and all those things, but there is going to be a huge attention to details for what concerns the fact that we are trying to stick to the poem, to stick to the
Okay.
to the
Sure.
work of Dante. So there are some pieces of the work inside of the campaign, and it's not easy, because if you want to stick to that, you have to make to compromise sometimes,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
still Dungeons and Dragons is works with a clear type of games, and but Dante doesn't really fight into his own travel throughout hell, but our characters are going to. So we have to balance a bit with the poem and the abstraction of Dante and all the rest. Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell, is going to place right in between an adventure campaign
Okay.
and a campaign setting, because Brancalonia, for example, was a campaign setting, so there is a huge world, and there are some specific and unique classes and specific and unique talents and monsters. So it's a whole world apart from any other world that you're going to play with, the Forgotten Realms or Eberron or all the
Sure.
other. Inferno, even though is of course a world by itself, because it's a closed system and it's got rules, specific and unique rules inside of itself. And the archetypes that we are going to play in Inferno are something that has never been seen before in another game. They are unique to this setting. At the same time, we want to say that when you end up in this hell, in this setting,
Hmm.
you can come from kind of anywhere you want, anywhere you like. So maybe you are
Okay.
playing an adventure in
Yep.
another world, in another setting.
Sure.
Your players just get lost and find themselves into the dark forest, in which
Hmm.
Dante himself lost and got lost, and finally ended up into hell. So of course it would be probably more coherent to have some medieval characters coming from somewhere from the actual world we live in from those days, but
Hmm.
there's no restriction about it. You can be whatever you want before you go to hell. So
Okay.
it's going to be a mix.
From the looks of all that's been spoiled so far, Max, it looks like
Yeah.
this project is going to produce 3 books.
Yes.
Is that is that my takeaway? Can you tell us a little bit about what each book is? I'm assuming there's probably a setting book, maybe like a player's guide, and I was it intrigues me as to what these 3 books are going to
Yes.
entail.
So it's pretty easy. So there are
Okay.
3 books. The first one, the one with the red cover, and the fighter and the paladin on the cover with this beautiful representation of the circles of hell, and all the devils all around. This is the first book. This is basically the player's book. So there's going to present all the archetypes and all the rules that are going to be, to matter to the players.
Okay.
While the second one is going to be called Virgil's Untold Tales,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be, whether while the first book is going to present Inferno and hell, really sticking to the poem of Dante. Virgil's Untold Tales is going to add some that, there's a lot of stuff that Dante doesn't really talk about during his travel, during, the while you're reading. Maybe he talks about something, but it's just two or three words and then nothing else. So you can imagine whatever you like. And
Sure.
that's what we are making with the Virgil's Untold Tales, presenting new monsters, presenting some adventures, and it's basically the Dungeon Master guide for Inferno. So what all that, it's not told inside of the poem, but that the players are going to discover throughout the game,
Okay.
basically.
Very nice.
And the third book is the Divine Comedy.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
but illustrated with those beautiful illustration that we have
Yeah.
in the game. Yes. So it's going to be just a cool piece to have in the library, maybe to take to school. We would like, here in Italy, we usually study in high school. Of course, we study the Divine Comedy, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradise, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the more classical scientific, and we have a different scholastic system,
Sure.
but so the idea to have kids taking this book in school with those beautiful pictures, but still reading Dante and the original opera, is going to be great. I mean,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. The art is just spectacular for this game.
yes,
It's just just truly captures everything that you want for this subject. Do you want to talk a little bit about the artists that are involved with
yes,
this project? Because
yes.
I think artists in general, I think we need to acknowledge more for these RPG books, because I think everybody talks about designers and publishers, but let's talk about artists for a change, because they're definitely
Yeah.
underappreciated in this industry.
Yeah, no, I mean the art in this project, as for Brancolonia, is something really beyond any expectation. The main artist is Daniela Giubellini.
Okay.
She's with Two Little Mice, with the Two Little Mice game company, and she is all the archetypes concepts are from her, and all the tree covers are from Daniela,
Wow.
and she made basically, I think right now the 80% of the art in the game, and then we have some cool art from Vincenzo Pratico, who you probably have the Quickstarter,
I
and
do.
the Fallen Angel is from him, and then there's Fabio Porfidia making all the maps. All
Oh,
the
the
maps
maps look
are,
amazing in this book.
yeah, and he's the same artist that worked on Brancolonia for all the maps, all the cities and stuff, and he's great too. And he made the character sheets,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty. They are
Nice.
pretty cool. They are pretty beautiful. And then there is another artist, a new entry for the project, who is called Mauro Locci,
Okay.
and he made a beautiful picture of the party of adventurers, all gathered around a lantern. There's going to be a huge element of the game. The
Mm.
lantern that the characters are going to take anywhere, because it is the lantern that um, allows them to get back to life when they die.
Okay.
And
I
so
like
it
it.
is very important, because it is the only way they have to not disperse themselves into hell. So it's a beautiful art.
Very cool. Very cool. But let's talk about the different archetypes for this game, and what is going to kind of be kind of the twist that is not typical of a 5e game.
No, exactly. First of all, we have, for now, one only race playable
Okay.
into the game. So as I told you before, you can come from anywhere you want,
Right.
but once you're in hell, the archetype just stick to you. You know, you are like born. You are getting born again with a new
Right.
form and a new aspect that you
Sure.
can, of course, customize. But you're going to be something similar to the artwork that were made for the pre-generated characters and for the archetypes described in the Quickstarter and then in the campaign book. So whatever you were and whoever you were before coming into hell, now you're some other thing. So, and you don't even remember perfectly what you were before. So you have something that that you may get inspired by of your
Hmm.
past, but now you're completely unaware of where you are, what you have to do to get out of it, and
Hmm.
it's like a very dreamy like quest that you are going to be put in or put on when you
Okay.
play Inferno. And those archetypes are pretty peculiar and unique because there was a huge problem with the Dante's Inferno.
Okay.
Oh, if you want to put it on a fifth edition environment, which is that you don't get uh, to find equipment in Dante's Inferno. There's
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
So
Yeah. All right.
you can't go to the blacksmith to make you an armor or a blade. There's not that chance. So we designed these archetypes to already have three objects, three features
Okay.
that are going to be the only three features that they can use inside of hell. And these three
Hmm.
features are going to grow in power once the characters level up,
Sure. Okay.
and you are going to be able to choose what these are called the infernal emblems. These three features. For
Okay.
example, our fighter, which is called the Tyrant. The archetype name is the Tyrant, is going to have a skull crown, a blood mantle, which is a cloak, a red cloak,
Hmm.
and the burden, which is his weapon. In the artwork, he's got a huge blade, a huge sword, but it can be whatever you want. On the exterior, you can customize it as much as you like, but still it's going to be a burden. So it's going to be a blade that he can use or she can use uh, as a long sword with and the shield. So the AC is going to be increased, and he's going to make a d8 plus his modifier damages, or he can use it with two hands as a great sword. And the more you level up, the more you have the chance to improve and enhance those infernal emblems. And this is probably the main peculiarity of the game, because you're going to have to stick to them. So this is what you have, and this is what you're gonna have until the end. There are probably a couple of items or weapons that you will find during the campaign, but they're just a couple. Just
Sure.
so these three emblems are made to represent the infernal punishment that your character
Okay.
would encounter once in hell. So our characters, they are not dead, they are just lost, and
Okay.
that's how they're called the race is called the lost ones. um, they got lost during their life for whatever reason, and now they find themselves in hell because of divine intervention. Maybe
Sure.
there's something that they have to do or understand in order to uh, fight the sin that they are indulging in life, probably. And if they do not do this, if they just abandon to the sin, they're going to be lost forever in hell. But the thing is that their powers, their specific powers, and the powers of the emblems are just made just to make your character indulge in the sin. So, for example, the tyrant, the fighter,
Hmm.
it's the archetype of the violent one. So, a person that was violent towards other people, and all his or her powers are made to inflict pain. So, if you want to be effective in game, you have to indulge in your powers, and there is an embrace sane power that is going to be a very very powerful, but you have to expand hope. One of the other peculiarities of the characters in this game is that they have 33 hope points,
Okay.
and they can spend them to increase, very very exceptionally their powers. So if they
Okay.
want to survive, they can do it. They can do tons of damage, and they can
O-
have superpowers, but their hope is going to be always going down. And once
Sure.
it reaches the zero, they're just completely lost, and they
I love
cannot
that.
wish to exit hell. So
I love that mechanic. I think that's a really cool
yes,
cool way to do it.
and even when you die, if remember I told you about the lantern that
Yeah.
just
Right.
brought the lantern can bring you back to life, but you lose hope because if you die in
Okay.
hell, you lose, like, for example, 3 points of free hope points.
Hmm.
And 33 points. Well, we chose the 33 number because each there are 33 canti. I don't know how you call it in in English. Let me see. It's I think canto. I think you call it canto. Yes, part of the poem canto. So it's not translated. So there are 33 canti in Inferno,
Okay.
and Purgatorio and Paradiso. So there's always 33, 33, and 33. So
33. Yep.
that's
Okay.
your hope points.
I like that.
And it looks like they're much, but you will have probably to go from first level to 15, and they're not going to be that much, I think. 33 points.
Sure. Sure. No,
And
I like that a lot. I think that's really cool.
that's cool.
So you've got a lot of this art already done. You've got a lot of the maps already done. Can you kind of give us an idea of how much of this project is pretty much set, and how much more you have to do before
Yes.
you kind of hit the print button on everything?
So as for Brancalonia, we are trying to make things really smooth with this project. Brancalonia has had small delays, but we have already delivered all the PDFs
Right.
to backers, and we are just waiting for the prints to come back to Acheron House, and then start to send it over all around the world. But the project is complete, and it took 1 year, almost a year, to
Yep.
make it both Italian and English language. And with Inferno, we will try to make even better than that,
Nice.
because we are already working. We think that this is going to be a successful project. Whether with Brancalonia, of course, it was the first project. We were trying something pretty peculiar for the
Sure.
for the for the industry, for Dungeons and Dragons. But now we have, we made something like 3,000 backers. They're all pretty happy. We think that they're going to back this project too.
Sure.
We already have more than 2,000 followers on the Kickstarter pre-launch page. So knowing this, we are already working on the project. So we are already designing all classes, there are 5 already out with the quick start. The fighter, the wizard, the paladin, the ranger, and the rogue.
Okay.
And we are already working on the other classes. We have already wrote something like 5 out of the 10 adventures that are going to be included in the book.
Okay.
And the art is pretty much, it's not done, but we had a lot of art for the project. So I think that we could say probably between the 50 and 60% is already done and ready.
Sure.
So we think that we could deliver this project in a year, of course, maybe even earlier than that.
Excellent.
I don't know.
Excellent. I'm very excited for this. When does the Kickstarter launch again, Max? It's like coming right up in a few days.
Yes,
if
exactly.
folks are watching this, it might even be live now, or if you're watching this after the fact, you can always check out the Kickstarter, and after the fact, I'm sure there'll be links afterwards as well that you'll be able to pick this game up. But when is it scheduled to go live, Max?
March 23rd.
Nice.
So it's pretty. Yeah, we're close.
Also, you'll be back again on the show to do an actual play for us. We've got a great cast that we've lined up for you. Four lost ones ready to
lose their souls.
That's right, to lose all hope, which usually happens on this show as well.
Eventually.
Yes. But yeah, we're really excited. No, it'll be great. If it's anything like the Brancalonia actual play, we'll have a blast. And I know all our players are very excited to give this a shot. I'm going to tell folks if you're interested in the actual play and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button down below, and let us know if you're excited about all things that are coming from Acheron, and especially this Inferno, Dante's Guide to Hell project that I'm sure will be a huge success. I'll put a link to the quick start in the description of this video. You can download it and give it a try yourself before you pledge. And I think you'll like what you see. I know I do, as far as how it's laid out and the art and all that I've consumed so far has been spectacular. So I can't wait to give it a play on the show. So Max, much success to you. We'll see you in a few days for the actual play, and much success for your Kickstarter.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's going to do it for this session. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And if you've made it this far already, make sure to hit that like button down below. I appreciate it greatly. It definitely helps us grow our show. And remember, winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you would be so kind, and make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that we're supposed to do here. It really is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to support us more, you can check us out on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/victoryconditiongaming. We have all sorts of Patreon perks, and it definitely helps support our show. Thank you so much.